Hello and welcome to Strive Dialogues. Today is the 109th episode of Strive, and thanks to the audience, we are going great guns. Today we will discuss 2023 and also the 2024. What are the possibilities lying ahead? But before that, मैं सभी लोगों को बताना चाहता हूँ कि 2024 का आगाज जो हो रहा है, वो बड़े ही धूमधाम से हो रहा है लखनऊ में। हमारे यहाँ आर्मी डे परेड ऑर्गेनाइज की जा रही है, जो कि पहले दिल्ली में हुआ करती थी। अब उसको हर हर साल हम नए कैपिटल में करते हैं। तो पिछले साल हमने बैंगलोर में, स्टेट कैपिटल्स में करते हैं। पिछले साल हमने बैंगलोर में किया है और इस साल यूपी का सौभाग्य है कि यही जो परेड है, वो लखनऊ में हो रही है। इसको यहाँ के जो आर्मी कमांडर हैं, वो एक दिन इस परेड की सलामी लेंगे और फिर फाइनल डे जो कि आर्मी डे है जनवरी 15 को सेना अध्यक्ष सलामी लेंगे और ये बहुत ही भव्य प्रोग्राम होगा। इसमें और भी कई सारे प्रोग्राम्स होंगे। तो मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि हमारे जो वेटरन्स हैं और जो आम पब्लिक है, आम जो जनता है, वो भी इस पूरे प्रोग्राम्स को देखेंगे। कई इवेंट्स ओपन हैं, कई इवेंट्स बाय इनवाइट हैं, लेकिन इन सब का टेलीकास्ट यूट्यूब से होगा और इस प्रोग्राम के जो एक मुख्य जो होस्ट हैं या एंकर कह लीजिए, वो जन कक्कड़ हैं जो हमारे साथ इस प्रोग्राम में बैठे हुए हैं। सर, थोड़ा-सा अपनी तरफ से अपनी थोड़ी हाइलाइट्स बता दीजिए इस प्रोग्राम्स के बारे में, सिंस यू आर एंकरिंग इट।
Basically, parade 13th को is the Army Day, the Army Commanders Investiture Parade. जिस दिन आर्मी कमांडर अपनी तरफ से सेना मेडल गैलेंट्री, सेना मेडल डिस्टिंग्विश्ड और विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल अवार्ड करेंगे along with some other trophies. But events will be the same. खास तौर पे जो परेड में देखने लायक है, which will be very interesting. One is the army chief का speech 15th को, when the army chief takes the salute. It is apart from the sort of the glamour of the parade, army chief का speech में what message does he convey? आज उन्होंने अपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में चाइना को क्लियर मैसेज दिया, इफ यू वांट नॉर्मलसी इन रिलेशंस यू हैव टू स्टेप बैक फ्रॉम वेयर यू हैव कम. 15 को क्या मैसेज देंगे is another thing which the nation will be looking to watch. Parade के बाद the other events, depending on weather, is skydiving, the paramotors, helicopter show, as also उसके बाद is the motorcycle display, जो amazing है, because I've been seeing it every day and I've been part of the rehearsal. Now this is on 15th morning. 15 दोपहर को 3 o'clock is the next event जो खेल परिषद में है, जिसका रिहर्सल will be on the 13th, and जो लखनऊ के लोग हैं they can watch it on the 13th. 15th को that also will be telecast live. That is a 2-hour show from possibly 4 to 6, which will have a whole collection of events, including not only the motorcycle display and this, but much more. 2 घंटे का program है, you must watch it. 14th शाम को 5:30 is the band concert at the Ambedkar Memorial Park near Gomti Nagar. वो भी possibly telecast होगा live. I think again these are events which must be watched. अगर आपको मौका मिले, in case you cannot be there, watch it on YouTube. I think it will be worth the effort.
दुष्यंत, एक चीज उसमें मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि दिस आर्मी डे परेड का पार्ट 2 और हो रहे हैं। वो है कि रेडियो मिर्ची उनके जो पार्टनर हैं इसमें, एफएम पार्टनर, उन्होंने 2 प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज किए। एक आज मेरे साथ उन्होंने रिकॉर्ड किया और कल आपके साथ करेंगे। एंड इसमें जो ये एफएम पे, रेडियो मिर्ची पे कल से वो शुरू करेंगे, इसके बारे में टाइम टू टाइम बताना, उसको 3-4 पार्ट में करेंगे। तो मेरा ख्याल में ऑल दोज जो कि एफएम पे हैं, अगर वो रेडियो मिर्ची पर जाके देखेंगे तो उनको बहुत से सुनेंगे तो बहुत से इस आर्मी डे परेड के बारे में और इन्फॉर्मेशन भी मिलेगी, जो कि मेरा ख्याल है कि जो जनरल कक्कड़ करने जा रहे हैं उनको कंट्रीब्यूट करेगी, कि उनका जो होगा तो ये एक बहुत बढ़िया मैसेज जाएगा। तो मेरा सारे दर्शकों से अनुरोध ये है कि इसको जरूर देखें एंड दिस सुने, और इट विल बी अ वेरी यूजफुल थिंग फॉर देम to get prepared for the main events, which as जनरल कक्कड़ ने बोला है कि जिनको जो भाई इनवाइट है वहां तो जाएंगे ही जाएंगे, उसके अलावा वो यूट्यूब पे भी देख सकते हैं, जो जहाँ की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग होगी। उसके अलावा वो यूट्यूब पे भी देख सकते हैं, जो जहाँ की
Thank you, sir, for adding on to the information already which Jan Kakkar had said. तो अब आज आ जाते हैं हम मुद्दे पर अपने। जैसा कि हमने फ्लायर में लिखा है कि आज हम लोग चाहते हैं कि ऑडियंस जो टाउन हाउस मीटिंग, जो टाउन हॉल मीटिंग जिसका एक टाइटल ही था कि 2023 में जो कुछ हुआ है उसके बारे में ऑडियंस हमसे जितना सवाल पूछना चाहे पूछे, क्योंकि पहले क्या होता था कि हम कुछ सवाल छूट जाते थे समय की कमी से। तो आज मौका है ऑडियंस के लिए, अगर वो जो भी सवाल 2023 के बारे में पूछना चाहें पूछ सकते हैं। अभी ऑडियंस तो हमारे साथ ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं, लेकिन क्वेश्चन आंसर्स अभी आना शुरू नहीं हुए हैं। लेकिन जैसे-जैसे आप लोगों के क्वेश्चंस आएँगे हम उनको टेक अप करते रहेंगे। मीनव्हाइल हम लोग एक राउंड अप करेंगे। तो ग्लोबल लेवल और रीजनल लेवल दोनों लेवल पे हम बातचीत करेंगे आज। शुरुआत करेंगे 2023 के जो मेजर इवेंट्स हुए थे, उनके बारे में मैं एक बार ज़रा जनरली कवर कर देता हूँ और मैं थोड़ा-सा अलग रूप से कवर करूँगा। नॉर्मली हम लोग जब जियोपॉलिटिक्स की बात करते हैं तो खाली हम हमारे ज़हन में या हमारे ध्यान में यूक्रेन, हमास, गाज़ा आता है। नंबर 1 जो इवेंट था पिछले साल का 2023 का, आप सरप्राइज़ होंगे, ग्लोबल टेम्परेचर्स ब्रेक रिकॉर्ड। ये सबसे नंबर 1 न्यूज़ थी जिसका कोई कवरेज आपने देखा होगा मीडिया में कुछ नहीं था, लेकिन
इसका असर था।
लेकिन इम्पोर्टेंस जो था वो सबसे ज़्यादा इसी का था और इसका असर सभी को महसूस हुआ है। नंबर 2 पे ऑफ कोर्स आता है हमास, नंबर 3 पे आता है यूक्रेन की लड़ाई, फिर यूएस चाइना के टेंशन्स पहले बढ़े, फिर अब धीरे-धीरे घट रहे हैं। क्यों, किस रीज़न से बढ़े थे, किस रीज़न से घटे थे, उनके बारे में। फिर कुछ लोग भूल गए हैं कि अज़रबाईजान ने न नगार्नो-कराबाख को भी 2023 में ही अपने कब्ज़े में लिया था, जिसके बारे में छोटी-सी एक बबल सी न्यूज़ निकली थी। उसके बाद बाकी जो 2 बड़े वार थे, उन्होंने उसकी जगह ले ली। और शायद लोग भूल गए हैं और ये मैं याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ, वर्ल्ड पॉपुलेशन में इंडिया नंबर 1 पे आ गया है, चाइना को नंबर 2 कर दिया है उसने। और चाइना के बारे में प्रेडिक्शन ये है कि 2100 तक 2075 तक वो जो है 1915 वाली पॉपुलेशन लेवल पे आ जाएगी, यानी कि 500 ऑड मिलियन के स्तर पे आ जाएगी। उनकी पॉपुलेशन बढ़ेगी नहीं, घटती ही चली जाएगी। ये एक साइन कर्व बन गया है उनका, अब उनका कर्व डाउन हो रहा है। ये एक बहुत बहुत ही समझ लीजिए मेजर खतरे की घंटी है चाइना के लिए। उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट बड़ा इवेंट था G20, जिसमें भारत ने कमाल कर दिया। जिस तरह से भारत का नाम बढ़ा G20 के दौरान, वो काबिल-ए-तारीफ़ था। ब्रिक्स में भी भारत का एक बहुत अहम रोल था, जिसमें कि उसने 5 बड़े देशों को शामिल करने में, ब्रिक्स में शामिल करने में काफ़ी अहम भूमिका निभाई थी। अर्जेंटीना वाला मामला थोड़ा खट्टा इसलिए पड़ गया क्योंकि अर्जेंटीना के जो करंट जो प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट हुए हैं, उन्होंने मना कर दिया। वो थोड़ा राइट विंग प्रो यूएस हैं, तो इसलिए वो ब्रिक्स में नहीं जा रहे हैं। एससीओ और फिर तो ये थे मेजर इवेंट्स। इंडिया के इवेंट्स के बारे में, रीजन के इवेंट्स के बारे में हम बाद में बात करेंगे। तो पहले मैं शुरू करूँगा जनरल कक्कड़ से कि सर बताइए आपकी नज़र में व्हाट वाज़ द मोस्ट डिफाइनिंग इवेंट ऑफ 2020 फ्रॉम अ ग्लोबल पर्सपेक्टिव एंड देन यू कैन कम टू द इंडियन पर्सपेक्टिव एज़ वेल, बोथ।
ग्लोबल पर्सपेक्टिव में डिस्पाइट आपने G20 हो गया, ब्रिक्स हो गया, व्हाट इज स्टार्टेड, जो 2023 में स्टार्ट हुआ है, पॉसिबली 2024 में कहीं कंक्लूड होगा, इज द इजराइल गाजा इंसिडेंट।
ओके,
यू सी, वो अब चल रहा है, इट इज नोवेयर नियर कंक्लूजन। अब जो देश उसमें इन्वॉल्व हुए हैं, उनके जो एंड स्टेट्स जो उन्होंने एनविसाज किया है, वो एंड स्टेट्स तकरीबन मेरे ख्याल से अनअटेनेबल है। और जितना ये युद्ध खींचेगा, अब रशिया यूक्रेन युद्ध साइड में हो गया क्योंकि वहां फंडिंग के लिए प्रॉब्लम है, कहां कहां फंडिंग जाएगा, कहां रिकंस्ट्रक्शन करोगे, कहां पे आप सपोर्ट दोगे। तो अब एम्फेसिस इधर आ गया है। आप अगर देखो अखबार के अंदर रूसो यूक्रेन युद्ध के बारे में आपको अगर 2 कॉलम या 3 कॉलम कहीं कोने में मिला तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, बट विथ कैजुअलिटीज माउंटिंग, साइलेंस कब तक रहेगा? एंड कैन इजराइल पुल आउट? अगली सरकार किसकी? कौन बनाएगा? कौन जिम्मेवारी लेगा? इजराइल ने सेड कि हम ये पैलेस्टीनियन अथॉरिटी को चार्ज नहीं देंगे। सो देर इज अ लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन इन द रीजन। अब उधर से हौतीज बीच में आ रहे हैं फ्रॉम यमन, यहां पे हिजबुल्ला धीरे धीरे करके खड़ा हो रहा है क्योंकि उनके लीडर्स आर बीइंग टारगेटेड। अब अगर ये एक्सपैंड होगा, ऑयल क्राइसिस तो बढ़ेगा बिकॉज एज इट इज शिप्स अभी लंबे रूट लेने लग गई है, प्राइसेस के ऊपर इंपैक्ट करेगा। सो देर इज गोइंग टू बी अ ग्रेटर इंपैक्ट पॉसिबली अगले 2-3 महीने में।
आपको मैं
सोल्यूशन फॉर।
ओके सर, आपको मैं रोकूंगा क्योंकि सवाल आने शुरू हो गए हैं, तो मैंने सोचा कि
हाँ
साथ
हाँ
ही साथ करते जाएं ताकि हमें समय कम लगेगा। शर्मिला शर्मिला सीपी ने पूछा है, हाउ मच ट्रूथ इज इन द न्यूज दैट यूएसए इज द वन दैट कॉशन्ड इंडिया चाइनीज इनकर्शन इनटू तवांग एरिया ऑफ अरुणाचल प्रदेश?
सी इसका बारे में आई विल कवर इट अप बिकॉज आई हैव आल्सो रेड। जो ये कह रही है ऑफिशियली किसी सरकार ने बताया
इसको
नहीं
रही
कि हमने वार्न किया है,
बिल्कुल
कोई सरकार बोलेगी नहीं, बट देवर इनपुट्स। क्योंकि ये याद रखें कि टुडे सैटेलाइट्स आर मॉनिटरिंग एवरी फ्यू आवर्स।
यस
अब हर देश के अपने एलाइज हैं हु गॉट सैटेलाइट्स। इंडिया सैटेलाइट में पॉसिबल बी कमिंग वंस आफ्टर 6 आवर्स और 8 आवर्स, डिपेंडिंग कि कितने सैटेलाइट्स है, किस इलाके को कवर कर रहे हैं, किस एंगल से कवर कर रहे हैं। जब हमारे नहीं कवर कर रहे तो हमारे एलाइज के कवर कर रहे। सो ये इनपुट्स आपके पास आती रहेगी। देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ बिलीफ दैट द यूएस डिड नॉट कॉशन इंडिया ऑन चाइनीज इनकर्शन, पर यूएस ने कॉशन किया कि यहां पे बिल्डअप हो रहा है। और अगर बिल्डअप हो रहा है, इट वाज अंडरस्टूड, क्योंकि हमें पता है कि चाइनीज का इंटरेस्ट कहां पे है, पहले भी ये इलाका हो चुका है। सो ऑटोमेटिकली डिड्यूसिंग, एक्टिंग और रिएक्टिंग वाज बेस्ड ऑन द इनपुट की बिल्डअप है। तो आपको इनपुट इतना ही आएगा, आपको उसके ऊपर इनपुट नहीं आएगा। हाउ यू डिड्यूस द इनपुट, हाउ यू रिएक्ट टू इट, वो इंडिया के ऊपर है।
इसमें
जन
मैंने
चतुर्वेदी
हाँ,
जन
मैं इसमें
चतुर्वेदी नहीं, मैं
यस
आपसे आप बाद में इसमें ऐड करिएगा। पहले मैं
हाँ,
आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, जो ग्लोबल ट्रेंड्स हैं जिसमें कि नंबर 1 पे मैंने टेम्परेचर राइजिंग, रिकॉर्ड टेम्परेचर हैव बीन रिकॉर्डेड इन 2023, इसके ऊपर थोड़ा-सा वो करिए, फिर इस क्वेश्चन पर भी आप अपना व्यू ऐड कर दीजिएगा।
देखिए जो क्लाइमेट चेंज है, ये एक कंटीन्यूअस फिनोमेना है। ये ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब कोई न्यू फिनोमेना हो रहा है, ये कंटीन्यूअस फिनोमेना है जो कि हम लोग पढ़ते रहते हैं हिस्टोरिकली, चाहे वो नोआज़ आर्क की बात करें या प्रलय की बात करें, जो भी करें। तो ये टेम्परेचर्स, क्योंकि क्लाइमेट चेंज का एक बहुत मेजर इनपुट होता है टेम्परेचर राइज। एंड टेम्परेचर राइज क्यों होता है? क्योंकि जो ये जैसे-जैसे सरफेस पे आता है, तो ये ग्रीन हाउस इफ़ेक्ट होता है कि इसमें इन्होंने एब्ज़ॉर्ब किया सन रेज़ और ये वापस जा नहीं पाती हैं। उसका एक ग्रीन हाउस इफ़ेक्ट होता है जिसमें कि वो थोड़ा साइंस से रिलेटेड, लेकिन अगर मैं थोड़ा-सा उसमें एक्सप्लेन करूँ कि उसके लिए बाहर जाना ओपेक हो जाता है, तो टेम्परेचर राइज़ होगा। जैसे-जैसे टेम्परेचर राइज़ होगा, इसके बहुत सारे इम्प्लीकेशंस होते हैं। तो क्लाइमेट चेंज, तो पूरा का पूरा चेंज जो क्लाइमेट हो रहा है, उसका जो असर है, उससे फ़र्क पड़ रहा है। और इससे जो सबसे बड़ा फ़र्क पड़ रहा है कि कंप्लीट, जहाँ पे पहले ज़्यादा लंबे समर्स ज़्यादा लंबे होने लगे, समर्स अगर लंबे ज्यादा होंगे तो इवेपोरेशन ज्यादा होगा, तो क्लाउड बर्स्ट ज्यादा होंगे, और उसी के हिसाब से विंटर भी एक्सटेंड होता है, लेकिन उसका पीरियड चेंज हो जाता है, जिससे जो सबसे बड़ा इम्प्लीकेशन जो इसके दो तीन होंगे। एक तो पेस्ट बहुत बढ़ते जाते हैं, जितने जिससे कि वो फसल को खाने के लगते हैं, और जो फसल का पीरियड अपने आप में चेंज होने लगता है। जैसे इस साल, जैसे कि आपने टेम्परेचर राइज की बात करी, तो चाइना पे इसका बहुत बड़ा इफेक्ट हुआ। चाइना पे जो सबसे बड़ा इफेक्ट ये हुआ कि यांगत्से सर्टेन पीरियड के लिए सूख गई, और उसके बाद जब पानी बरसा तो ऐसा बरसा कि बीजिंग तक डूबने लगा। तीसरा, कि जो हर साल करीब करीब 2-2.5 मिलीमीटर पानी बढ़ रहा है समुद्र का, एंड जो चाइना पे जो सबसे बड़ा इसका इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है वो है कि उनका कोस्टल एरिया जो है, उसमें सबसे ज्यादा उनकी पॉपुलेशन भी है, सबसे ज्यादा उनका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बेस भी है, उस पे इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है। तो जो फूड सिक्योरिटी की एक अपनी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। दूसरा, जो टेम्परेचर राइज से जो हो रहा है, उससे फेमीन भी बढ़ेंगे, ड्राउट्स भी बढ़ेंगे। तो ये एक जो इम्पैक्ट हमारे यहाँ जैसे हुआ कि हमारी जो लद्दाख की रास्ता जो वाया मनाली है, वो ऑलमोस्ट 6 महीने बंद रही, क्योंकि हिमाचल में बहुत बुरा हाल हो गया। दूसरा, जो उत्तराखंड में जो हो रहा है, जिसकी वजह से सेंट्रल इंडिया में, उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार में उसका सब्सिक्वेंट इफेक्ट बहुत ज्यादा हुआ। सबसे ज्यादा असर जैसे पाकिस्तान में हुआ पिछले, बहुत मेजर फ्लड्स आए, जिससे आज भी वो निकल नहीं पाए हैं। तो ये, और इसमें हम लोग जो है इसमें ऐड कर रहे हैं कि पेड़ भी काट रहे हैं, जो सीएफसी गैसेस हैं वो भी बहुत ज्यादा छोड़ रहे हैं इन्वायरमेंट में, ओजोन लेयर में
इसमें
होल होता जा रहा है, तो ये बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही हैं।
इसमें एक छोटा सा सवाल आपको जोड़ना चाहता हूँ। कोप 28 हुआ था अभी रिसेंटली,
जी,
जिसमें
जी,
भारत ने साइन नहीं किया था ऑन द
जी।
लेवल ऑफ टेम्परेचर्स टू बी रिड्यूस्ड रिलेटेड टू एनर्जी। सो उसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे आपके
हाँ,
फाइव?
हाँ। बहुत बहुत अच्छी बात आपने सोची है। दुष्यंत, इसके बारे में क्या है कि अब ये है कि भाई, मतलब एक मैं एनालॉजी दूं कि मोहल्ले में एक बोलते हैं कि जी, मैं तो बड़ा आदमी हूं, तो मैं जो भी चाहूं कर लूं, लेकिन तुम लोग जो हो चुपचाप बैठे रहो, क्योंकि मुझे, मेरे यहाँ पार्टी चल रही है। तो ये
हम्म,
वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड का जो ये कॉन्सेप्ट है कि उन्होंने, वो कुछ नहीं करेंगे जो टेम्परेचर रिड्यूस करने के लिए, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग को रिड्यूस करने के लिए, लेकिन वो हमसे कहते हैं कि हम आपको कार्बन क्रेडिट दे देंगे, आप कोयले का इस्तेमाल कम करो। इंडिया ने क्या किया है कि इंडिया ने क्यों नहीं साइन किया, कि इंडिया ने एक पिछले कॉप 25 में जो ग्लासगो में हुआ था, उसमें एक हमने एक प्लान दिया है कि 2070 तक हम जो है कार्बन न्यूट्रल हो जाएंगे। तो हमारा एक उसमें प्लान, 2030 तक हम 400 गीगावाट पावर रिन्यूएबल
करेक्ट।
से जनरेट करने लगेंगे। हम इसी के साथ साथ जो है, एक आज के जो कल की एक न्यूज आई है कि पहले हम लोग जो थे कि थोरियम को डायरेक्ट की को यूज करने की सोच रहे थे फास्ट ब्रीडर रिएक्टर के थ्रू, लेकिन कुछ एस्टेरॉइड बेस एक नए फ्यूल को जन्म दिया गया, हेलियो बोलते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, तो
हम्म,
उसको चलते हुए हम लोग जो है न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी, जो कि क्लीन एनर्जी है, उस पर भी हमारा जो है, और उसको हम लोग जो हमारे प्रेशराइज्ड हैवी वाटर रिएक्टर से इन्हीं में यूज किया जा सकता है। अभी जयशंकर साहब गए थे, उन्होंने रशिया में, तो कुडान कुलूम में अभी 6 के अलावा अगले, मतलब नंबर स्पेसिफाइड नहीं है, और हम लोग वैसे ही लाइट वाटर बेस्ड रिएक्टर्स बनाने की बात सोच रहे हैं, तैयारी हो रही है। तो इंडिया जो है अपना काम कर रहा है। हम ये कह रहे हैं कि हम, हमसे क्यों तुम साइन करा रहे हो कि हम फॉसिल फ्यूल बंद कर देंगे, क्यों आप पहले क्यों नहीं उसमें साथ देते हो? अमेरिका ने भी तो साइन नहीं किया। तो ये
करेक्ट।
जो
तो
कॉप 28 में जो वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड का जो है, कि जो जयशंकर साहब को मैं कोट करूंगा, जो पहले उन्होंने बोला था कि भाई वेस्ट सोचता है कि जो उनकी प्रॉब्लम है दुनिया की प्रॉब्लम है। नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। आपकी
Sir,
प्रॉब्लम आपकी
let's
प्रॉब्लम, हमारी प्रॉब्लम अपनी प्रॉब्लम।
सर, आगे आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहते थे वो
हाँ, तो मैं ये
यांगसे
कह रहा
वाले,
था, जो
यांगसे वाले?
हर्ष ने बहुत अच्छी बात बताई कि किस तरीके से, कि कितना एक लिमिटेड इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, लेकिन फार मोर इम्पोर्टेंट जो है इंडिया में, वो ये है कि रिस्पॉन्स कैपेबिलिटी वो क्यों बढ़ रही है, क्योंकि हमारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, बॉर्डर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अच्छा होता जा रहा है, हमारी ड्रिल्स एंड प्रोसीजर ज्यादा अच्छे होते जा रहे हैं। तो वो
बिल्कुल
एक
सर।
चीज हम लोगों को ध्यान में रखना चाहिए कि चाइना को एक मैसेज गया कि ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम स्टेल्थली आ जाओगे और निकल जाओगे। हमारे जो प्रोसीजर्स है और हमारा जो रिस्पॉन्स है, कैपेबिलिटी है, वो भी अकॉर्डिंगली, बिकॉज बेटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इंप्रूव हो गया।
आगे बढ़ते हैं सर। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज फ्रॉम सम्राट अशोक, पाटलिपुत्रा, बिहार। द recent India-US conflict on turbine engine deal emphasizes the need to continue funding for the Kaveri engine. A less powerful Indian engine could be more beneficial than a stronger American one. Your comment, sir, Jan Kakkar?
See, अभी if you remember, if you recall, 2 दिन पहले जब राजनाथ सिंह यूके में थे, immediately the US had already announced कि इस साल the engine will start coming up in the engine factory will start getting set up in India, or within 3 years the production will start. The GE engine production is going to commence in India. कोई शक
Mhm.
नहीं है. ये जो small issues regarding Pannun and all will have no effect as far as the relations are concerned. Kaveri के बदले we are also looking at the French saffron. So that is the second option, और वो भी आएगा because you're looking for the long term AMRCA aircraft. So उसके अंदर भी ये आएगा. So there is no issue as that is concerned. कावेरी के ऊपर बहुत इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए होगा. It will be easier and possibly better to go in for GE and Safran. तो दोनों का होगा. But GE will not stop. एक बार the factory starts and the production starts, everything will continue.
I can only add that the Kaveri should be a long-term project where we try to get self-sufficiency आत्मनिर्भरता की तरफ बढ़ने के लिए. लेकिन in the short term, we should go ahead with what you are suggesting. Yes, sir. You wanted
इसमें
to say something?
इसमें दो इनपुट और लेट्स कावेरी की वन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम एरिया वाज कि जो गैस टरबाइन जो फिन्स हैं जो बिकॉज ऑफ द हाई टेम्परेचर दे वर मेल्टिंग. दैट इज वन ऑफ द मेजर इश्यूज विद द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कावेरी इंजन. एंड दैट इज वाई पहले भी आपको याद होगा कि पहले हम कावेरी पे जब जीटीआरई काम कर रही थी तो अमेरिका ने G404 दे करके उसको सेबोटाज कर दिया था. लेकिन अब किसी ऐसा नहीं हुआ. इसमें एक जो नई चीज जो ये वेनेडियम का एक नए हमारे हिंदुस्तान में कुछ जगह इसका डिस्कवरी हुई है. सो वेनेडियम की जो अगर हमारी जो आएगा तो उसको टेम्परेचर के हाई टेम्परेचर रेजिस्टेंस में वो काफी यूजफुल है. सो देयरफॉर व्हाट यू सेड कि कावेरी पे हम लोग काम करते रहना चाहिए. वेनेडियम के आने के से बाद इसके फर्क पड़ेगा. तीसरा ये राजनाथ सिंह की जो हर्ष ने एक बहुत अच्छी बात बोली कि उसमें जो रोल्स रॉयस इंजन वो देने को तैयार हैं. तो मोर द मेरियर. हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है कि वो रोल्स रॉयस इंजन आता है या जी इंजन आता है या सेफ्रन का इंजन आता है. कोई भी आए हमको तो वेलकम करना चाहिए कि अगर मेजर प्रोडक्शन हाउस बन गए इंजन के तो इसका इम्पैक्ट नॉट ओनली हमारे एमएमआरसीए पे होगा बल्कि कल को जो एविएशन इंडस्ट्री का जो है हमारे यहाँ अगर एक बेस बन गया तो हमारे नॉट ओनली तेजस क्लास, नॉट ओनली एम का, नॉट ओनली टेडबी एफ, हम जो है सिविल एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर सिविल एयरक्राफ्ट भी बना सकेंगे. तो हम लोगों को जितना भी आए वो हम लोगों को एक्सेप्ट करते रहना चाहिए.
Next question is from Partha P. If naval drones can identify locations from which missiles are fired on our ships, can we link them to naval-based Akash for defense and armed drones for location elimination? Jan Kakar, would you like to comment on this?
See, जहां तक ये है, you got to look कि missile Akash is meant to destroy a missile in the air.
Yeah.
It's an autonomous system. उसको मिसाइल को डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए it launches its own missiles which it has as part of the आकाश. It's an air defense system और मिसाइल्स को भी टारगेट करता है. Now, जहां तक नेवल ड्रोन का है, अगर वो लोकेशन आइडेंटिफाई करना है, the only way you can target that location is through counter bombardment or through an aerial attack. There is no other way. Now, no country, whether it is the US or any other country, is attacking the Houthis' missile bases in Yemen by using air power. Reason is, आपने जिस दिन वो किया, you're looking for escalation of the conflict. And they do not want to escalate the conflict. Currently, all nations, उनका basic role is destruction of the missiles while in transit.
I only want to add here that, escalation of conflicts is undergoing a change over time. Initially क्या होता था कि जो कुछ भी लैंड वॉरफेयर से ऊपर था was considered as an escalation, but that has changed to now missiles are being accepted as not as an escalation, but they are being accepted. Okay, missile attacks on each other's side, non-contact warfare, so this is okay. So what I'm trying to say is that as we are going ahead in future, possibly the acceptance of escalation levels are also going to change. With that, we will move on to the next question, sir, since we have a lot of questions now pouring in. So we should focus on the town hall, and rather than discussing our issues. We have next question is from ask what have we done to the US State Department that they have it in for us so bad for so long now. Even now when we are buying weapons and partners in technology, etc., they are actively trying to malign us. Quick response from both of you, sir, on this issue, although you already answered this.
Basically, it is a very simple one-line statement. The US does not want any partner or alliance to go against its views. It does not prefer a nation which is independent in strategic thought, which does not align with US views. And jab tak aap wo ho, and India will remain that, there will always be attempts to apply pressure. पर एक बात याद रखें, they cannot do without India, and they have to accept that India will not adhere blindly to what the US does or US says. It will only do what is in India's own national interest.
Absolutely true, sir. Quick comment from you if you want to add anything.
Actually, if you notice, I totally endorse what Harsh has said, and one or two things which I would like to add here. There is a Pentagon as well as State Department. They are not on the same page, and the president is actually not being able to control either of them to come on the same page. And as far as State Department is concerned, they want to keep the say their communication with China open. If you notice, recently Asim Munir also had gone, so certain views were exchanged. So what they are, on one side, it is Jeff and Met is going on in what we call in say that
Absolutely.
State Department is trying to put pressure on India. Pentagon is supporting your all endeavors and efforts because they realize that, as Rahash very rightly said, they cannot do without India. But right from beginning, we have
Chalo.
been an independent country on this issue.
Chalo.
Absolutely true, sir. If you are rising, people will always be looking to cut your legs, whether you somebody is your friend, because it's ultimately competition which is playing out in the geopolitics.
And
We are coming
everyone
to the
works in their national interest.
yeah,
Everyone works in their national interest.
we are coming to the next question. Sam Keating ask we need to examine arms policy. In the past, Germany refused to send spares, etc., citing HR issues in JNK. US shut off GPS in Kargil. Better to stick with France, Russia, and indigenous options mostly. It's a statement of fact.
कोई
A
doubt
comment
नहीं.
on this. A comment on this by Jan Kakkad. If you want to add anything,
Absolutely with
support.
him. But then we also have to realize that a lot has changed over the years. But I agree with him. Indigenous option, and today we are launching our own indigenous maps and GPS and everything. So I think it's absolutely. आज अगर आप देखोगे, even the chief announced that there's a software which is going to be given which will ensure that your mobiles are secure even on public networks. So there's a lot of indigenous options, and I think that's the right option.
And I
Navik has
think the
become quite effective. Navik has become quite effective, and I think
चलो, चलो.
it's a matter of just time that we will not depend on GPS at all. And Germany and all, yes, they will keep doing this kind of a thing.
चलो.
But
absolutely.
we have to keep on pressing
I
on
mean, he's
accelerator on indigenous
he-
production.
he's absolutely right, sir. The MP5s, which are the core weapons of energy, were refused by Germany after a while, citing this exactly the JNK or JNK argument. They were willing to give us tanks, Leopards, but not the MP5s. Anyway, coming on to the question from Rishi Atreya, assuming India is becoming a producer of engines, would it not require continued assistance for maintenance and spare parts? This is a very simple response, sir. Who would like to go on? General Chaturvedi, sir, you can take on this.
Yes, actually, what Rishi says that producing engine alone is not sufficient, and we go back to the last question, last reply, which all three of us agreed on, that indigenous capability is a must. You have to have a very strong R&D so that you start developing your own systems and procedures and your own spare parts capability. So MSME coming into play, and your that Mishra Dhatu Nigam and all those things which are producing alloys, they will have to further be
Sir,
energized.
sir, sir, we'll take it on in a slightly different pattern. Today, you're looking at about 80% of transfer of technology. Now, if you unless you get 100% transfer of technology, maintenance and spare parts will not be available with us. Complete. Some amount will still have to get imported. So it all depends on the level of transfer of technology that we get.
I
And
agree.
it is supposed to go up to 80% in 3 years. So we'll take it at that and we'll look at it in that sense that until it
I,
goes up to 100%, there will still be a
And,
dependence.
no,
and sir, today,
I
and sir,
definitely feel. I would like to add one more thing. Interdependence, developing interdependence, is a must to get the correct amount of technology and those things. Earlier, when we were dependent on Soviet Union and Russia and America, then they could twist our tail. But as our capabilities are increasing as a comprehensive national power, they are listening, because that is how America has not been able to put any pressure on us when we were earlier buying oil from Iran, and even this time we bought from Russia. They could not put
sir,
any kind of a pressure on us. So therefore,
sir,
we
we'll,
need to remember this portion.
sir, we'll move ahead, sir. The prime thing is that no manufacturing of new equipment or new product is solely uh, created within a country, sir. There is a global supply chain which happens in every equipment. So therefore, that much amount of balancing we will have to do. When we say indigenous, it doesn't mean that everything is being produced by us. There would be items which are being imported by us. So therefore, we have to see that whatever we are importing is not that of a critical nature, or critical technologies are held with us. So with that said, we move to the next question, sir. So it is going to be a mix of say, like John Kakkar said, 80%, 70%, 60%. How much is our content? That is important. Critical ones should be control should be with us, sir. We go to the next question, sir. Aditya Kulshrest asks, sir, for the next 5 years, are we still relying on Israel, USA, or Western made UAV for ISR? Yes. John Kakkar,
I
would you
would,
like? Yeah, go ahead,
actually,
sir.
if you notice today, there is a very interesting news. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
India, this Adani has
Dani?
come out with a UAV for, and which Navy
Drishti.
has accepted for ISR.
Yes.
So therefore,
Yes.
this is a great development that we are no longer dependent. Yeah, combatized UAV Tapas is
Yes.
almost getting closed because it is not working out, the
Yeah.
combat portion of it. So we are thinking of different kind of a ASR is a new, but then that's on drawing board. But ISR, I think UAV, we have got our own technology which can help us to depend on our own selves. That's
Armed
what I'm
drones
saying.
is a challenge, sir, that we have to still look for short-term measures and then do a long-term things. Jan Kakkar, would you like to say anything on this? Very important, sir, actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, sir. Uh, um, there is one question which now, which is again uh, kind of. No, sorry, not this one. Not this one.
This we have already addressed.
No, this one. Please give a gist on India-Canada spat, elimination of certain undesirable elements, including Dawood, by unknown killers, and involvement of CIA in fomenting trouble for India through Khalistani elements. Basically, he's talking of the hiccups which are taking place between India, US, and Canada in the last, and of course, Pakistan is willy-nilly player, or it's a proxy of all these guys. So, what do you have to say on this? You've written a lot of articles on this. I would like you to comment quickly, sir, and close this particular question.
See, as far as India Canada is concerned, it's well known कि उन्होंने accuse किया है for us for the killing of Niger without any proof. And as the foreign minister said, as US has given some sort of proof, though of course in the court has asked the CIA, please give us proof, irrefutable proof on the Panun case before we agree on the extradition from Czech Republic. And interestingly, today the Indian PM yesterday met his Czech counterpart in Ahmedabad. What
Hmm.
transpired, nothing is known. कुछ तो बात हुई होगी. That
बिल्कुल
aside,
कुछ
Dawood is still alive. But yes, in Pakistan, there have been a number of anti-Indians who've been killed, whether they're members of LET, HM, whether they are members of the Khalistan movement. There have been one or two more who've been killed in Canada. The point is very simple, like we discussed earlier, the US State Department will always want to keep a finger. Agar aap dekho, during the visit of Asim Munir, there was not a word spoken about terrorism in India. There was not a word spoken on the Khalistan movement. The Khalistan movement is funded largely by the Pakistan ISI, but it is operating from the US and Canada. All three sides are linked together. It's got its base in Pakistan, it's got its base in Canada, it's got Panoon sitting there in the US. San Francisco mein incidents are happening. So these are things that will remain a small pinprick always, which they hope to use as a pressure sometime. It is not, but the best part is Khalistan people are more keen for Khalistan abroad. So possibly, ultimately, agar Khalistan aega, it will come somewhere in Canada, possibly in the Brampton area or possibly in Alberta or Vancouver. India mein to Khalistan aega nahi. So this is only a dream that they'll do. You might find Pannun migrating to the US and setting up the Khalistan headquarters somewhere in Vancouver.
Sir, you want to add something to it, sir, quickly?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
very interesting. One historical fact I would like to remind. Somebody asked late Rajiv Gandhi once. So he says, if Khalistan comes, the capital would be Lahore. So after that, they kept quiet for some time. So my own sense is that this Khalistan movement and all these are all the things which CIA. I mean, I will not discount that CIA is quite substantially. These are all fronts of some kind of a thing to keep us under check. And ISI is funding that is there, but we need to be careful about our own response to it, and it has to be firm and resolute.
absolutely, sir. Asim Munir going along with Nadeem Anjum, who's the DGISI for the visit in the US. I mean, these are signals which we must read well in advance and be prepared for something to happen in our country. I think कि इसके लिए कोई rocket science की जरूरत नहीं है. हमारे को सतर्क रहना बहुत ही जरूरी है. Next question is from SN. Which option about the imminent split of Pakistan would be beneficial for the region? Should it happen at one instance like Soviet Union or staged over many years, Yugoslavia, SFR? Your comments, sir?
I think a split is very dangerous, very, very dangerous, and not good for India in the long term. States which are small, ungoverned, you've seen that happening in Iraq, ungoverned regions where the ISIS gained a hold. We would not like that to happen. Preferably a stable Pakistan with a sensible leadership, which realizes that we have to get out of this economic mess. And the only way out, which they also know, but they're unwilling to accept, is unless you have ties with India, you can't get out of the economic mess. You have to cut your defense budget.
So your comments on this? This is interesting.
There is a very interesting old Urdu couplet which first I'll say, then I'll expound. मुझे बचाएगा ए ना खुदा क्या गर्क होने से कि जिनको डूबना है डूब जाते हैं सफीनों में. So therefore Pakistan's state is, we are not trying to engineer any state or something. The kind of atrocities which they have committed in Balochistan, they got to remember that they are committing the same mistake as it was in Bangladesh.
Sir, please. The major difference is Bangladesh was way apart with India in between. Balochistan is part. So you can't split what is part of yours. Tomorrow you'll say Manipur is separate. So it cannot happen.
Sorry, Harsh, let me complete what you have not heard full what I have said. What I am saying is that Pakistan is doing what they should be doing in Balochistan. It's not that we are doing for them. It is that they are doing. So, I mean, I can't help Pakistan to remain united. The kind of thing they are doing with Muhajirs in Sindh, they are doing with Syriacs, they are doing Gilgit-Baltistan. It's all they are doing. It's not our doing. So therefore, they need to learn from their own history rather than we trying to tell them. Yes, as far as we will not do anything for them, and we are not doing anything for them.
Absolutely, sir. True. Basically, the difference between Bangladesh and Balochistan is that there was India in between, and India was giving active support. There is no one giving active support to Balochistan, so it's splitting. Maybe a very very long drawn
No, but
possibility.
the
If it gives success,
67% still feel that autonomy would be good enough. There's Marang
yeah,
Baloch also. This
that's what they are looking at.
same
They are
thing.
looking at an autonomous kind of a area, independent or semi-independent on.
Last 19 years, the population has reduced of Baluchis from 61% to 55% in Baluchistan. So therefore,
So
that needs to be remembered. So much of migration is taking place. That so therefore, their culture, their economy has reduced from 6.9%. Now it has gone to 3.9%. So this is a kind of thing which they are doing, which needs to be taken note of. Pakistan need to take it note of.
okay, we are going to the next question, sir. Theaterization of armed forces, major changes were expected in 2023. Is it stalled or likely to come in 2024? If yes, in what form?
Nothing known at the moment. It is still under discussion, is what they've said. No final proposal has been cleared by the MOD. So currently, it is wait and watch. Expecting something to come through or believing it may come through, unless there is a certified input, I think it is wrong.
Okay, sir. Next question to Janil Chaturvedi. Now we'll quickly keep going, and if there is a counter view, then Janil Kakkad could add. Sir, ask: does the recent boycott by us has become anti-productive as it gives Maldivian president validation for hostility against India?
Of this
Maldives.
no,
Maldives.
India did not give any call for boycott of Maldives. Only thing Prime Minister said that look for Lakshadweep. So our internal tourism we want to improve. Now it is those three ministers of Maldives. They had taken because, and one of them had gone beyond what is acceptable when he called Prime Minister by names. So which is not acceptable. So we did not do anything. Only thing that Lakshadweep and say Andaman, if they are preferred destination of internal tourism, it will help generate a lot of say Keynesian effect. That multiplier effect would be better in India's case. So my sense is that now Maldivians they also realize, if you notice, about the 45% of Maldivians they are not for what government of Maldives has done. So there's a lot of say discordant notes within Maldives against what those ministers have said. So obviously it has been taken now. They are trying to say, even President Moizu is trying to build bridges with India. Let's see. I think it is too early to say that we have decided to. We have not decided to boycott.
So, your quick comments.
It is the economic forces which.
Any disagreement with what Janil Chaturvedi is
Really,
saying? Or
sir, absolutely
absolutely.
with it.
Okay, so next question from Raghunandan asks, sir, why Navy is not standardizing of destroyers, which will give economy of scale and logistics will be easy also. Your view on it? Yes, sir.
Each destroyer has a different task. So different class of destroyers have got different tasks, different operational roles. It's the same thing like the artillery where you got different guns, jiska alag alag requirements hai. You cannot standardize it and go for only one type. So each class of destroyers ka alag alag role hai. That is why they are different, and that is why there is a difference in the setting. Plus, with change of technology, there is a difference. So when they're deployed together as a team, each one with a
Absolutely.
different.
Absolutely. That is why you require infantry, artillery, armored, etc. They've got
Yes, yes.
different growth and different. Next question is very interesting, and I would like here a heated discussion. Quickly, ask: in the past, all Georgette patches of senior officers were same, red with straight line. Then everyone wore ones with oak leaf. Now only colonels wear those, and generals have stars. Explain these changes. NRK is a very keen observer and keen. How should I say, commentator. So let's have quick 1 minute response from both of you, sir.
Basically, it is with passage of time, I think possibly to some extent we copied the US model. The US had stars, and we took the same model from the US and depending on the number of stars an individual had, he wore it. Chai, it appears a bit illogical, but then that is the model that we copied. Not only India, Pakistan follows the same model. A number of countries today follow a common model. So that is how the changes have taken place.
Yeah, your comments are good, bad.
My sense
Go
is
ahead.
that the present system is a little better because otherwise, sometimes in armed forces, the individual loyalty to unit and formation, units and regiments was taking it a bit too far. So once the senior officers start wearing a simple same kind of a thing, and it's a old pattern that once general cadre officers from colonel onwards, they used to wear the same kind of a uniform. I think it will help in longer run make army more say integrated. My sense is that's a good development.
Sir, we have few more questions. So if Jan Kakkad is getting late, you could sign off,
Chalo, we'll
but
take on.
we will take
We'll,
on. Okay.
we'll
Because
take on one or two more. Huh?
yeah, this one is not to be answered, but I'll just say that I'll give answer to this. It's a good. Is it good to have a new channel dedicated to defense? My sense is that we are going to discuss this particular issue and also the role of think tanks or related to defense in a separate program with General Chaturvedi. So we will answer this question in detail during that period. So we'll not take it on here. Next question is from Akhlendra Kumar Singh. Will at some point of time the US will use Pakistan being located as such to combat both India and Iran politically and maybe militarily? This is a brain
Uh,
searching question. Your view, sir.
See, basically, the US will always exploit Pakistan as a pressure point against India. Iran, maybe not, but definitely against India. It is one of the reasons why the Pakistan army is today surviving, because it considers India as an enemy. And this pressure point, like you discussed, was open and evident when Asim Munir was in the US. And the people that he met, including the famous lady, kya naam hai uska, Nalan,
Victoria Nuland.
Victoria
Victoria
Nuland.
Nolan. So
Yes.
it's understood, and you will find this sort of thing coming up with possibly Pakistan applying more sort of terrorism actions in J&K as elections come close. Uh, and as Jaishankar had very rightly said 2 days back, expect a lot more towards the first half when the elections are drawing close, especially when the world realizes that the narrative is not moving in the way they think it is. So he
Uh,
says very rightly, we have to be prepared for it.
I'll just add a little more to what Harsh has said. As far as Iran is concerned, they are already taking certain actions, say by sitting in Bahrain. So this Persian Gulf or Arabic Gulf, whatever one wants to call it, they are trying to put pressure from the western side to on Iran. Also, UAE is with the US. So Iran is being bottled up in a manner. Uh, as far as India is concerned, Pakistan, yes, definitely. And also, I think the effort is to wean away Pakistan from China. In say America, it is not in America's interest that that Pakistan totally becomes say under influence of China. So therefore, they'll keep doing. And as far as Pakistan against India is concerned, yes, politically they are trying. They'll continue trying those kind of things. Pakistan more, less Iran.
Okay, on my that previous question, just a comment for all of you. Since Jan sirs, I was feeling good that you opened a channel dedicated to defense. Best wishes. So that proves our point that we are focused in the right direction, sir. Thank you very much, Tarun Kundani. We will take three questions now, sir. Since there are a number of questions, I have shortlisted three best ones, which will and the third one is the last one where I would I would request both of you to give comments. The other two, you all can select between the two who will give the comment. I'm pitching one for Jan Chaturvedi, which is his subject, and one for General Kakkad, which is again his subject. So the first one goes to Jan Chaturvedi. NRK asked, what lessons should we learn from global left and Islamist? Sorry, this is for Jan Kakkad. What lesson should we learn from global left and Islamists that today around 60 to 70% of all social media users, including teens, are standing with Palestine? Read Hamas. We need to up our IW game. This is your question, sir, and I will just pick up the question of Jan Chaturvedi later, sir. You can respond to this, sir.
If you look at what's happening on Maldives, did we need an IW? The way the Indian public rose, the way the Indian public is rising, आप Twitter पे देखो, you see the sort one comment by somebody from Maldives and you see the response from the Indian public. This required no IW. This is our nationalism which has come up to a level which I have not seen in years. And this rise in national level and the spirit of India is what we are carrying. The Maldives incident, without a government statement, without an IW effort, has proved to the world that you cannot tamper with India. We are absolutely united. We are one. You cannot tamper and play with us. And we have shaken the Maldivians, but proved to the world that this is our information power. We have amongst the largest social media network users in India. And
Absolutely.
today we are standing as a nation. We don't need
Thank,
anything else.
thank you, sir. A question to Jan Chaturvedi, sir.
There is one thing I would like to add. India's response was the very unique response. We said we are against Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, but we are with Palestinian. So that is the kind of thing which I think resonated with rest of the world, and I think that was the best response. We need to remember. Even even West also took on what we were talking
Absolutely, sir. You're talking at the cost of your question, sir. Is building up never dams the only solution to counter storage losses to sedimentation? I have been seeing surface reservoirs vanishing since my childhood with no public awareness to restore, clean them. That's why I said, sir, I had selected this question for you. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
related to
Okay.
UP. This is related to UP and what it is
I,
trying to
I,
do.
I just in three things I would like to say in this
Quickly,
case.
quickly, sir.
Actually,
Quickly.
the glacial rivers which are originating in Himalayas, because of very high, very great heights, they come down, and the glaciers, that's why they're dirty glaciers. A lot of silt does come, and so even Salal, Bhakra, they all getting sedimented. And what is happening in Uttar Pradesh, what you just mentioned, so many of the rivers, it went into kind of a obsolescence. The reason was that watershed management was poor. So the natural green of the country was such that water used to come to those pokers and village ponds. So that it went into people started making houses in all those areas. So that's the second part. So the what we need to do is, and third was the cropping pattern changed. Cropping patterns, say it's satta dhan or say dog seeds, when they started using it. So you know what happened? It consumes a lot of water. So the non-glacial rivers, they all got dried up. Now, with these three things, the major issues which are coming up is, and fourth, in any case, is the global warming is resulting into some kind of a problem areas. So now what we need to do is that we need to have a central agency, which is a for sediment removal. Because one thing we must remember, that sediments are very rich in minerals, which they bring with them. So they will be very useful for other things. So that we have to maintain our river plains. We have to ensure that trapezoidal section of the river maintained, and for that, a new agency needs to be created where we can keep removing this silt from dams and rivers. Making new dams is not the best answer. Maybe in rivers, if they have the more check dam concept, probably it will help. And simultaneously, maintenance of say watershed management and plantation in the mountains will help us
Sir,
definitely take care
uh,
of this.
thank you, sir. Sir, this I had to flash because we must pay respects. Today is the death anniversary of Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. It has been disclosed that USA was involved in the murder. USA has been thickly involved in the murder, and especially within India over time. First of all, our respects and salute to our one of the most popular prime ministers, sir. If you have anything to say on this, sir, just a minute, and then we are going to the last question, and we'll call it off.
No, I think that on unsubstantiated statements, we have no comment to. I have no comment to make. Yes,
Absolutely.
the loss was definitely a very major loss of Prime Minister Shastri, and the Tashkent Pact. It had certain infirmities, whether it was under duress or it was anything. It's a matter of. I think we must not even go back in too much into the history of all those things. What has happened? What has
Okay,
happened?
sir. Okay, sir. Concluding remarks from both of you. And this is the question which my course mate has flashed. So I must, both for my course mates, the earlier one also and this one also. Good evening. What would one single biggest threat and opportunity for India in 2024? Because we had promised that 2024 possibilities will be discussed. It is your concluding comment, sir. We'll start with General Kakkad and then General Chaturvedi, and then we wind up, sir, today.
The biggest threat is what we're going to face before May 2024. And the best opportunity that we're going to get, yes, the threat will be internal. That is what we're going to face, and we're going to face it by mid 2024, because a lot is going to change as the elections get close. The opportunity for India, possibly if the results of May 2024 go as per the forecast, there's going to be a total global opportunity for India to not only expand itself, but possibly stamp its place in the world, because that's where we are now heading as far as our our diplomatic footprint is concerned.
Sir, your comment, sir, quick.
Uh, the first part, I totally endorse what Harsha said, that the biggest threat is pre 24 May. Up to May, we'll have problems. Post 24 May, the one of the greatest uh, opportunity for us is our growing economy and strength of our economy, which will help us sustain the pulls and pressures, diplomatic pulls and pressures, and it will also help us that we need to go for the biggest opportunity is coming up is the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign needs to get a big boost post 2024 May, and that will help the political dispensation. I'm sure it's a these are the issues on which there will be a national consensus, and forecast is what is on the writing on the wall, which is there. So we need to accept this kind of a thing, and
Thank you.
economy needs to keep. That's a big opportunity for us.
Thank you, sir. I think it was a lively discussion, although we had a lesser of 2024 discussed. We will meet next time in the next event in a few days' time. Till then, sir, my concluding remarks are opportunities galore, provided we exploit them. Other than the economic opportunities, we also have the diplomatic opportunities. We also have the role of becoming a peace broker post the Ukraine and Hamas war is over, because that is where we possibly can play a greater role and displace countries like Qatar, which keep trying to meddle here and there. So with that said, thank you very much. Jai Hind to our audience. Please watch, like, subscribe our channel, and thank you very much for the support which you all are giving us. Jai Hind.
Thank
Right,
you,
sir.
Harshan. Thank
Right,
you,
sir.
Harshan. Thank you.
Bye.